It's about my father. He died 3 days after keying in his will, and he left everything to a woman nobody's ever heard of. Please, you need to find out who Helena Cross is. Can you handle this to a detective or something? Thank you.
Every detective gets one case that feels wrong before the evidence says it is. This was mine. A 78-year-old man dies peacefully in his own living room. No forced entry, no struggle, no missing property. The doctors called it heart failure. The paperwork agreed. The funeral was already being planned until someone opened the will. $12 million. Gone. Not to his children, not to charity, not to an old friend, to a woman named Helena Cross. There was only one problem. Nobody could prove she'd ever existed. Every forged document leaves a mistake. Not because the criminal gets careless, because perfection attracts attention. Arthur's will was perfect. The signatures matched. The witnesses checked out. The notary confirmed the appointment. Everything looked exactly the way it should, which meant somebody wanted us to stop looking.
4 days before Arthur died, a 30-minute appointment was booked at a small notary office downtown. Arthur arrived alone. Security cameras showed no sign of pressure, no argument, no hesitation. He read every page, signed each one, shook the notary's hand, then quietly drove home.
That's what bothered me. Not what the document said, but how carefully it had been prepared. Every signature, every witness, every stamp. Somebody made absolutely sure nobody would question it. I started where everyone starts: government records, driver's licenses, property ownership, tax filings, anything that could prove Helena Cross had ever existed. I found nothing.
Investigators searched every public record they could legally access: state driver's licenses, property deeds, voter registration, employment records. Every search ended exactly the same way. Helena Cross didn't appear anywhere. It was as if she'd never existed before Arthur Whitfield wrote her name into his will.
That's when the case stopped looking like fraud and started looking impossible. People fake signatures, people fake identities, but erasing every trace of a person, that's something else entirely. People lie. Paperwork lies. Even witnesses lie. Money rarely does. So I stopped looking for Helena and started following Arthur. Arthur's bank activity had always been predictable. Pension deposits, utility bills, grocery stores, insurance payments. The same pattern, month after month, until 6 months before he died. 6 withdrawals, always in cash, always just under the amount that would automatically trigger additional reporting. Always made on the first Monday of every month. Same amount, same day, same bank. You don't build a new life overnight. You build it, one careful step at a time. Every investigation reaches a point where one name starts appearing more than the others. Arthur had 3 children. Only one of them needed money. Nathaniel Whitfield. Years of debt, failed businesses, collection notices. Suddenly, I finally had somebody worth looking at. Nathaniel had spent nearly a decade chasing one failed investment after another. Construction, crypto, restaurants. Every business ended exactly the same way. More debt, more promises, more people waiting to be paid. Creditors had already begun filing lawsuits months before Arthur died. On paper, Nathaniel looked like the only person who actually needed $12 million. Motive, opportunity, financial pressure. If I stopped the investigation here, I'd probably convince a jury. But something still didn't fit. I wanted Nathaniel to be guilty. Cases are easier when the evidence points to someone who needs the money. But the more I looked, the less that theory made sense. Nathaniel was desperate. Desperate people make mistakes. Whoever planned this didn't make any. Then forensic accountants noticed something nobody else had. Arthur's signature never changed. Not on the will, not on his bank records, not on any legal document from the previous year. Every stroke matched perfectly. There was no hesitation, no tremor, no sign that someone had forced his hand. Arthur signed that document because he wanted to. That changed everything. Arthur wasn't manipulated. He wasn't threatened. He wasn't tricked. He chose to leave everything to Helena Cross, which meant I wasn't looking for a murderer anymore. I was looking for a reason. Every case has one piece of evidence, hidden in plain sight. Everyone reads it. Nobody understands it. Ours was a single letter, folded twice, left inside Arthur's desk, never mailed, never meant for anyone else to find. The letter wasn't addressed to Helena Cross or to Arthur's children. It wasn't even signed. It spoke about regret, about mistakes, about trying to fix something before time ran out. Whoever Arthur wrote it for, he trusted them more than anyone else in his life. At first, I thought the letter proved Arthur had been manipulated. Then I noticed one sentence. It changed everything. It read, "No one must ever know why we did this. We?" Arthur wasn't protecting himself anymore. He was protecting someone else. Helena Cross never stole $12 million. She never walked into Arthur's house. She never earned his trust. Because Helena Cross never existed. She wasn't hiding. She was invented. Detectives subpoenaed the phone records used to schedule Arthur's appointment with the notary. The call hadn't come from Helena Cross. It hadn't come from the law office. It came from Nathaniel Whitfield's phone. Handwriting experts confirmed Arthur willingly signed every page. The witnesses were legitimate. The notary followed every legal requirement. The fraud wasn't inside the document. It was inside the identity receiving it. Helena Cross existed only on paper. She was a name Arthur and Nathaniel created together to keep $12 million beyond the reach of Nathaniel's creditors. Nathaniel didn't kill his father. Arthur didn't fear his son. Together, they fooled everyone. One last lie, one last name, one last chance to protect $12 million from people waiting to take it. Arthur knew he was dying. This was the final decision of his life. $12 million, a woman who never lived, a father who chose deception, over leaving his son with nothing. Most people believe the greatest inheritance is money. They're wrong. Sometimes, the greatest inheritance is one final secret.